The nights passed quickly. No visits from the bad ones, no visits from Miss Ada. I slept dreamlessly and woke to a morning full of sunshine and birdsong. Not that I expected it to stay that way for long. Miss Ada was sure to cause problems before the day was over. As soon as we'd eaten breakfast, Corey and I borrowed a couple of shovels from Mr. Brewster, without telling him because we didn't want to be asking questions, and went in search of the bad ones. We found them exactly where we expected them to be, stretched out on tree limbs in the grove, waiting for us. Seth dropped down from a limb at least 3 stories above the ground. Ira and Caleb landed on either side of him like apples falling from a tree. "Where should we start digging?" I asked. "That's where she hanged herself." Seth pointed to a twisted tree that cast an especially dark shadow. "And this here's the very branch." Like a monkey, he jumped up and grabbed a long limb. Swinging back and forth, he said, "She turned and she twisted and she..." "Hush!" Ira grabbed Seth and pulled him back to the earth. "What do you think you're doing?" As he spoke, Miss Ada's tree shook as if a gust of wind were blowing through it. Its leaves rustled and its branches creaked. A dozen or so crows shot up out of their roosting places and flew away, almost deafening us with their loud cries. At the same moment, the shade under the tree darkened, and the temperature dropped so low I shivered. On the ground, a shadow swung back and forth as if cast by a body hanging from a rope. Suddenly, Miss Ada was there, twisting on her rope, her distorted face a hideous shade of purple. "You won't find it," she said with an evil smile. "It's hidden where no one dares look." The bad ones began to sob and tremble and cry out as if remembering beatings and hunger and cold winter winds, the deaths of loved ones, things lost and gone forever, babies' cries and mothers' prayers. Terrified of Miss Ada's power, Corey and I dropped our shovels and grabbed the bad ones' hands. Pulling them along with us, we fled from the cold grove. Our ears rang with their cries, our ears burned with their tears. Like them, we felt again every pain and loss we'd ever suffered. On the sunlit lawn, we fell to earth in a heap, aching with misery and shaking with fear. "See what you did?" Caleb yelled at Seth, who was still crying for his mother. "You woke Miss Ada with your foolish shenanigans." "Didn't I warn you?" Ira cried. "Didn't I tell you?" "I'm sorry," Seth kept on weeping. "I forgot. I was just funnin'. I didn't mean..." "Oh, stop your crying," Caleb said more gently. "I shouldn't have shouted at you. When she brings the old pains back, they hurt so bad I can't hardly think straight." Seth wiped his eyes with his dirty fists. "I want my mama. I want my pa. I hate this place." "All of us hate being here," Caleb murmured. "We were unlucky," Ira said. "You and Caleb and me and everyone else who ever lived and died on this poor farm." With the bad ones talking amongst themselves, I stole a quick look at the grove. In my mind's eye, I saw Miss Ada hanging from the tree, her feet dancing in the air, her face contorted. My stomach heaved and I thought I was going to throw up. But there was no sign of her now. One by one, the crows flew back and settled themselves noisily in the trees. With the shutter, I touched Caleb's shoulder. "What did Miss Ada mean when she said the book was hidden where no one would dare to look?" He frowned, his forehead as wrinkled as an old man's. "Maybe it's buried with her." "That's impossible," Corey said. "Dead people can't take things with them." "Mr. Jaggs could have put it in there," Ira said. "But he ran away," I said. Ira nodded. "But he sneaked back after Miss Ada hanged herself." "She was laid out in the parlor," Caleb explained. "The guest lounge, you call it now. He came to see her in the dead of night." Ira looked up from the clover chain he was making. "We were scared to go near the house with her lying there, but we saw the old codger steal away before daybreak. He had plenty of time to leave the book with her." Pausing to knot another clover stem, he added, "As she said, who dare look for it there?" "Not me." Corey glanced across the sunny lawn at the grove and shuddered. At the same time, I shook my head. The bad ones fixed us with their mournful stares. "You promised," Caleb reminded us. Ira nodded, his dark eyes solemn. "It's the first thing, remember? Find the names and make the proper gravestones," Seth said, in case we'd forgotten. "No one can rest in peace if you don't," Caleb added. "Even if the book is there," Corey put in, "it's rotted away by now." "Not if it's in the metal box where she always kept it," Caleb pointed out. I shook my head again. "No way. Impossible. Forget it. I'm not doing it." Expecting Corey to follow me, I jumped up and started to walk away, but when I looked back, she was still sitting on the grass with the bad ones. "Where are you going?" she called. I stopped, unsure what to do. I was ashamed to admit, but part of me, a big part, wanted to call Mom and Dad and tell them I was coming home. I'd hitchhike if I had to. Anything to get away from this place. Trailed by the bad ones, Corey ran to my side. "Don't you dare walk out now, Travis. We promised to help them." "But we can't dig up—" "You big yellow belly," Seth said. "Don't you go and skedaddle." "Listen here," Caleb put in. "She's not in her grave anyway. She's over yonder." He pointed at the grove. "She doesn't always stay there," I reminded him. He didn't have an answer for that. "She's not but rags and bones, if that's what's scaring you," Seth said. Frankly, that was plenty scary. "We have to find the book," Corey said. "We have to, no matter what happens." Seth turned to me with a sneer. "Ain't you ashamed to be bested by a girl? You're nothing but a sissified Nancy boy." "Don't call him names," Ira told Seth. "You'll just make him mad, and what good will that do?" Seth scowled at me. "Nancy boy," he muttered again. "Where's your dress and your hair ribbons?" "Be quiet, Seth," Caleb said. "I'll say what I like." As he spoke, Seth put some distance between himself and Caleb. While Caleb's attention was focused on Seth, Corey took me aside. "I'm scared too," she whispered. "In fact, I'm terrified. But we don't have any choice, and you know it." What could I say? She was right. Since my legs were shaking too hard to stand up, I sank down on the grass near Caleb. Okay, I croaked. "We'll do it." Caleb sighed with relief. "Meet us at her grave tonight." "Why not do it now?" I asked, "while the sun's shining?" "Nobody digs up graves in broad daylight," Ira said. "It's got to be done proper," Seth added, still keeping his distance from Caleb. "At the stroke of 12, Caleb said. "The time's been told in stories since way past when." With that, the bad ones pulled out of their vanishing acts, and Corey and I found ourselves alone on the lawn. "Midnight," he muttered. "They're making it as hard as they can." I glanced at my watch. We had almost 12 hours to kill before we tried our luck at grave robbing.